Time to learn English! English lessons for grade 7 with Teacher Mary.
Today is the day, your day to learn and discover more about English. Hello, hi, good day to everyone. Welcome to our English class. My name is Teacher Mary from Negros Oriental State University Shatin Campus, your pre-service teacher bringing you another video for you to easily understand your lessons in English 7. So what are we waiting for? Let's start our day right as you will learn one of the most exciting grammar lessons in English. Our lesson week number 3 is about active and passive voice. At the end of this video, use active and passive voice meaningfully in varied contexts. And for you to be able to learn that or to do that, there are some skills that you are required to attain. Number 1, you have to know the sentence is. You have to locate the subject, the verb, and the predicate. Second, you also have to learn about the principal parts of regular and irregular verbs. And lastly, it is also important for you to be familiar with transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, and direct object. It seems too many terms, right? Don't worry. All you have to do is focus and diligence for you to be able to comprehend all of this. And I promise you that learning is very rewarding and fulfilling. Let's start. Let's test your prior knowledge about a sentence. Among this sentence are a group of words. Which do you think is a sentence? Letter A. Stray Kids Backdoor music video reached 65 million views on YouTube. Letter B. The cell phone on top of the table. Letter C. Yuna, who is the youngest member of the group. So what is your answer? Correct! Letter A. Stray Kids Backdoor music video reached 65 million views on YouTube. So how can you say, and why do you say, that this is a sample of a sentence? What do you think is the quality or the characteristic of a sentence? Okay, let's check the definition.
A sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. A sentence contains with the subject, which is the topic, and the predicate, which is the information of the subject. The first word of a predicate is called verb. Verb plays a very important role in the sentence. Verb comes from the Latin word verbum, which means to convey an action. A verb can be regular and irregular. If you are one of my students, one of my requirements is memorizing the principal parts of irregular verbs, because irregular verbs form their past and past participle form in different ways. Most of them changes spelling as we form their past and past participle. These are the examples. Notice that most of them changes spelling as we form their past and past participle. Therefore, memorizing them is a must. Verbs in the first column are what we use in sentences in the present tense. Verbs in the second column are for sentences in past tense. And verbs in the last are used for perfect tenses and for sentences in a passive voice. Assuming that you have already memorized the principal parts of the regular verbs, all verbs which are not included in the list are examples of regular verbs. Regular verbs form their past and past participle forms by adding T or ED. Let's use paint as an example. Paint is not included in the list of irregular verbs, right? Therefore, that is an example of regular verbs. We can get its past and past participle form by adding ed. Let's have a short activity. Tell whether the given verb is a regular or an irregular verb. Then give its present form, past form, and past participle form. You may pause the video so you can have time thinking for your answers. Three, two, one. These are the answers.
And now that you have already made yourself familiar with the principles of regular and irregular verbs, let's now go to transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Your regular and irregular verbs can be used as transitive or intransitive verbs in the sentences. Identifying a verb if it is used as transitive or intransitive verb, you have to know about the direct object.
Irregular verb and regular verb is used as transitive verb if it has direct object that receives the action. Direct object can be a noun or pronoun. Let's use this as an example. Jen ate the cheese. The subject of this sentence is Jen and the verb is ate. What type of verb is ate? Is it regular verb or an irregular verb? Correct. It is an irregular verb. This verb can be transitive or intransitive. Like what I've said earlier, if it is intransitive, it has direct object that receives the action. The direct object answers the question what and who. Let's use the question word what. What did Jen eat? Is there an answer to the question? Correct. It is the cheese. Therefore, the cheese is your direct object. And ate, which is an irregular verb, is used as a transitive verb if transitive verb meets the direct object that receives the action. Intransitive verb does not need direct object. For example, Roxanne danced gracefully. Our subject here in the sentence is Roxanne and our verb is dance. And that is used as intransitive verb for it does not have a direct object or a noun or pronoun that receives that action. Let's have an application again. Tell whether the underlying verb is a transitive or intransitive. Three, two, one. These are the answers. Number 1 is a transitive verb because of the word a new car. A new car is a direct object that receives the action. But number 2 is also a transitive verb because it has direct object, which is her assignment. It answers the question, what did she finish on time? Her assignment. Number 3 is an intransitive verb because it doesn't have direct object or any noun or pronoun that receives the action talked.
Now that we are done discussing about the sentence, locating its subject, a verb, and a predicate, discussing about the principal parts of regular and irregular verbs, and differentiating transitive and intransitive and direct object. I think you're now ready to discuss the active and passive voice. Voice is the quality of the verb that tells the quality whether the subject of the sentence is the doer or receiver or the direct object of the action. In most English sentences with an action verb, the subject is the doer of the action denoted by the verb. In that case, the sentences are in the active voice.
These are the examples of the sentences in which the subjects are doing the verb's action, therefore, in the active voice. Number 1. Abby washes the dishes. This sentence is in the active voice because your subject, which is Abby, does the action washes. Number 2. Bob painted the wall. This again is an example of a sentence in the active voice because your subject, who is Bob, is the one who acted upon the verb painted, therefore, in the active voice. On the other hand, if the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action, the sentence is said to be in the passive voice. The dishes are washed by Abby. This time, your subject, which is the dishes, is not the doer of the action washed. Instead, it is the receiver of the action washed. Now, let's check if you have understood it. Tell whether the sentence is in the active or in passive voice. Again, if this object is the one who does the action, active voice. And if the subject is the one receiving the action, passive voice. Three, two, one. These are the answers.
And now, I will be teaching you how we can change your sentence from active to passive voice. But remember this, we can only change a sentence in the active voice to passive voice if the sentence has direct object. What is a direct object again? Direct object is the receiver of the action and it answers the questions what and who.
Let's use this as an example. Jillian sells banana cakes. Can this be changed to passive voice? Let's check if it has a direct object. Jillian is your subject and it does the action sells. Let's try to use the question word what. What does Jillian sell? Banana cakes. Since there is an answer to that question what, and there is a word that receives the action sell, meaning the sentence has direct object and that is banana cakes. We can transform this active voice to passive voice in changing active voice to passive voice. We have to make your direct object in the active voice as your subject of your passive voice. Next, we need helping verbs. These are the choices of helping verbs. If your verb in the active voice is only one word, for present we have is for singular subject, and for plural is are. For past tense, we have was for singular subject and were for plural subject. Sell is one of the regular verbs, right? And its principal parts are the following. Where is the irregular verb sell placed in the given principal parts? Correct. In the present tense, therefore, the helping verb that we need is in the present tense. It's now either is or are. And for us to know what is the correct helping verb between the two, we have to check whether a subject and the passive voice is only one in a number, or singular or more than one in a number, plural, and banana cakes, how many is that in a number, singular or plural? Correct, plural. Therefore, what we need is are. Next, we have to get the past participle form of the irregular verb sell. And the past participle form of it is sold. The last step is to place the doer of the action into a phrase beginning with the preposition by. And now we have a sentence. In the passive voice, banana cakes are sold by Jillian. Let's try another example. Some of my classmates have violated the rules. Let's check again if it has the direct object. So we can change this to passive voice. Our subject is some of my classmates. Our verb have violated, and we have the rules. Have violated what? The rules. Therefore, we have direct object. Let the direct object be our subject in every passive voice. We need a helping verb after that, and to know what is the appropriate helping verb to use, we have to check a verb in the active voice. Our verb in our active voice is have violated, and this is a verb phrase because it consists of more than one word. In this case, here are the choices of the helping verbs. For present singular, we have has been. For present plural, we have been. And for past singular and past plural, we have had been. Here are the principal parts of irregular verb: have, has, or have for the present tense, had for the past tense, and had for the past participle. Since have is in the present tense, our choices will be between has been or have been. And for us again to get the correct answer, we need to identify if our subject in the passive voice is singular, one in number, or plural, more than one in number. The rules with S is plural, more than one in number. And the present plural verb is have been. Let's just copy the main verb of the active voice, which is violated, and now we have the rules have been violated. Then add the doer of the action in the active voice into a phrase beginning with the preposition by. Then we have a sentence in passive voice. The rules have been violated by some of my classmates. Alright, let us have an activity. Change the following sentences in active voice into passive voice. You may pause the video while contemplating your answers.
And now we are finally done. Congratulations! Thank you for being with me for more than 20 minutes. Let's see each other again next time. And please do not forget to hit like and subscribe for more video lessons in English 7. Goodbye!